Welcome back to the podcast. We've got my good friends now. And when I say good friend now, it's funny because a lot of times you follow these people forever on social media and you feel like you get to know each other. But we actually just had our very first conversation just recently last week. And I'm so excited to interview him because he's one of the legends in the industry, seven-figure earner, Ricky Durant, down to earth, incredible human being. And, we spent a good, hour and a half, hour or so, and just hearing your incredible story and background. So for those of the audience that don't know you, Ricky, let's do a little rapid fire. How does that sound?
Great. So originally I was from Puerto Rico. My dad met my mom in the military, had four boys, two over there. They moved to Texas, had me over here, moved back to Puerto Rico, and then my parents split up whenever I was like 3 years old. Then I came to Texas. It was a culture shock because I didn't know no English whatsoever. I got picked on quite a bit, made fun of because I couldn't speak English, so on. So I picked up on weightlifting, just to get my mind off of stuff as I was learning English. So I started lifting weights at 13 and I'm 43 now. Health and wellness has been my jam.
Hey, you won some championships in weightlifting, right?
Yeah, state championship, national level, went into bodybuilding coaching. I did all sorts of stuff.
So I assume you've read the book Think and Grow Rich.
Yes.
So I tried that concept for weightlifting, Think and Grow Ripped. Unfortunately, it's just not the same, right, as we go. But I think it's interesting because there are no, one size fits all for people that have had success in network marketing. But I have seen a lot of former athletes have success because they've gone through the trial and error, right? You win, you lose, you try to progress, you try to say, okay, what are my weaknesses? How do I get better? So it's almost like you learn the process of failing forward is it. I mean, in tennis, it's like the type of tournaments I was playing in, like the bigger tournaments, if you won 60% of your tennis matches, like you were doing really well. Like that's, if you went in and won like a tournament and you won like 75%, that was really well. That means you won 3 times, lost once. Like that's crazy for people in the real world that haven't been through that. So I always encourage my kids to fail forward faster. How long have you been in the profession now?
Man, Rob, I started about 8 years ago. And funny enough, I've learned so much through what you teach. So I just want to give credit where credit is due because my first venture, a guy walked into the gym with some product. I was bodybuilding 8 years ago. And I was found dumbfounded because I didn't know nothing about the ketogenic lifestyle or anything like that, ketosis, ketogenesis. And I was like, okay, this sounds interesting. But in the world of fitness, there's so many supplements, right? So you've tried everything in the moon. And I was like, well, this is one of them things. So I started to do a little research behind ketosis, ketogenesis, and realized that if you were in a state of ketosis or ketogenesis, that it helps people that are going through seizures. Well, that hit home for me, okay? Because my little nephew has or had about 30 seizures a week, okay? And so I said to my buddy, I was like, I'm not into this pyramid thing or anything like that. I don't want to join none of them things. Let me try this out with my nephew, okay? And my sister-in-law called me and she goes, Ricky, I'm not saying this cured anything, but Matt has only had 2 seizures in the last 10 days. Immediately, tears started falling down my face. It was like God sent, obviously, to me to introduce to my nephew. And I called my buddy. I said, I don't know what this is. Whatever type of pyramid, I'm in. Okay.
Wow.
Didn't have a following. So I got on social media. I found you and a couple other mentors in network marketing, and I just started following you guys. I started just implementing what you guys were coaching because the guy that signed me up into network marketing, he wasn't a leader. Okay. He was just, somebody that was dabbling at it. And I didn't have a mentor. So I just started listening to you a lot and a couple of other guys in the industry. And man, I just want to thank you for what you do, because the value and the way you lead, you're a family man, integrity, and you're about the whole purpose of what this business brings to people. And I just want to thank you from the bottom of my heart, because I wouldn't be where I am today if it wasn't because of people like you, Rob.
Wow, I appreciate that. That gives me the chills when I hear stories like that, because you just never know, right? Like you never know impact that you have, and especially because I'm in the coaching world. Sometimes, it's not like you're building a team like when I was in the trenches, so you get to see a lot of those results, and so sometimes you don't know what people are taking. And for me, I was given so much as far as mentors and information and knowledge, that it really is so fun to pass that on. And those of you that are tuning in, props to you, because you listening in, the average podcast listener makes about $250,000 a year. Now, some of you listening make way more than that. Some of you are like, I don't make close to that. Well, guess what? That means you're in the right place. That's the law of the online association of you're listening with intent to improve your life. I want to ask a question. I didn't even think about this question before we got on, but based on what you just said there, how does being healthy, now healthy can be obviously eating well, sleeping well, working out as well. I did my hour and 15-minute workout this morning. It was leg day today. Used to hate leg day. Now I love leg day. Reassociation that I had probably about 3 years ago, which was super cool. But how does just being healthy in general help you to make more money? How does it help you in your business?
Man, it's tremendous. I was just teaching this the other night. If you're healthy, here's the deal. If you're leading anyone, before you can lead anyone, you have to lead yourself. Okay. You can't teach something that you're not doing.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? So what I've done for many years, Rob, and even whenever I was at the lowest of lowest, okay, about 20 years ago, I hit rock bottom. Okay. I wasn't a college student, didn't have the money to go there. And I went sideways. I went to the streets. Okay. And then my wife, my girlfriend at the time, got pregnant, and my mind completely shifted then, because I knew that I was God's child, number one, and I had greatness within me to do something like anyone else can, right? So immediately at that moment, I said, I'm going to do this. And I wrote everything down. I said, I will be a millionaire before I turn 40. I will be a stay-at-home dad before my daughter goes into high school. Was it easy? Was it this straight up line to success? Absolutely not. If you guys tuning in, watch the stock market, it was like this, okay? It was a line of this, your ups and downs, your ups and downs. But by being healthy, to answer your question, it basically what you need to do if you're tuning in, okay, never done network marketing, I would challenge you to go out for a walk every morning. Do not get on social media. Listen to something motivational first thing in the morning, because guess what happens? Life is going to happen. Kids, everything that's going on around us is going to happen. And if your mindset is not right to tackle the day, you're not going to be able to lead yourself, number one, and you will never be able to lead anyone else. Okay. So being healthy is a big part of my life. And I've been doing this for 30 years now. I take care of me first before I can take care of anybody else. And before taking care of me, I say a prayer in the morning. Thank you, God, for letting me wake up this morning. I'm healthy, I'm alive, and I'm grateful for another day. We can't be worried about the past, number one, and we cannot worry about the future, because we got to live in the moment today.
That's powerful. I'm so many thoughts going through my head. One of the thoughts is, like you're talking about, first you got to lead yourself, right? How you're supposed to tell everybody else to do all these things and you don't do it at all. Second thing I was thinking about with it is it's an act of discipline, right? And I know there's the great quote, how you do anything is how you do everything. There's some truth to that. I don't know. I wouldn't say that it's 100% true, because I've seen people that are really bad in one aspect and actually are really good in another. But I do believe that they overlap and do help for other aspects of your life. I also believe it gives you more energy, right? Like if your health
100%.
sucks, then
You're not motivated.
yeah, you're not motivated. How much harder is it to have energy? How much harder is it to have focus? How much less time do you have in the day because you're exhausted to actually work your business and also, do the other things that are important to you. Like I look at it being a, good husband and good father. Still have my bad days, but it's a lot easier to be more on when I have energy. I mean, think about this for all of you right now, just give perspective. How well do you feel like you do with your patients when you've only slept for 3 hours on average for 3 days? How well do you do on your patients when you haven't had anything to eat and you were planning on having, maybe you're used to eating breakfast, big breakfast and lunch, and it's dinner? You're hangry, right? You're hungry and angry combined. You're hangry. And so that's just giving you a perspective of, well, a lot of you are that on a daily basis. And I know those were extreme examples. And so, this life is about energy. People are attracted to energy more than the words you're using or the sales pitch, right? Or the invite or the system. All that stuff's important, but it starts with your energy, which is so, so key and critical. So I love that. So one of the questions that I had recently, I was coaching this company and this team inside this company, and they're doing this 4-week session. And I would say the most common question that they said they wanted help with was discipline. It was like, in their own way, they said, I lack discipline. I'm not very consistent. I start and then I stop. So obviously you had to have insane discipline to win, these weightlifting championships. How does someone increase their vision? I'm coming to you, Rick, and I'm like, my discipline just sucks. Like, I need help. I want help. Like, I know I need discipline to have success. How do I increase that?
Well, what I do, Rob, is I listen to people, okay? And I ask a lot of questions, okay? So how do I increase my discipline? Is basically by doing the things consistently, okay? And here's the deal, and I'll talk about this all the time. Some people get into our profession, okay? And they don't have the discipline because really they don't have a boss, okay? But you're going to work for 40 hours for somebody else that did have discipline, right? For 40 years, right? Here's the difference between that guy and you at the bottom of that pyramid, corporate America. And I'm not talking bad about corporate. I was a corporate employee for years, okay? But once I saw direct sales network marketing, I said, if he can do it, if Elon Musk can do it, I can do it. Jeff Bezos can do it. I can do it. The only difference between them two guys is they were very disciplined and they implemented and they never stopped, okay? And if you've ever watched any other podcasts, they said, hey, if I fail at something, I try again. And they kept trying. That's how you build discipline, okay? Because you got to keep moving. You're going to stumble. It's not going to be easy. The ladder to success, I promise you, it will never go straight up. If someone's telling you that, I run away from that person, okay? Because I want to be honest with people and say, hey, if you put in the time over a period of time, you will see success, okay? Because people have to be able to trust you, okay? I went back 8 years ago, Rob, and I was looking at my Facebook, my social media, and it was crazy whenever I started in direct sales. I would post something, You know how many likes I got? Zero.
Ha.
Zero. Nobody following me. Nobody wanting to buy anything. And you just got to stay consistent every day, not just start something and stop. Because look, if you go to work, you have a task to do. So look at this business, whether you're doing it part-time, full-time, look at this business as it is a job, but you have the leisure to do it whenever you want to do it. You don't have a set schedule of 8 hours a day. So building discipline is doing something consistently and never giving up, whether it's up or down.
It's powerful. Have you ever had any moments where you just massively struggled in network marketing? Any dark moments, big doubts?
Yes, I have. But those moments, like I said, Rob, sometimes in life, you don't know what you're going through, and you're going through those moments, those dark moments, and you're questioning yourself. And to be honest with you, after my last endeavor with my previous company, I was almost done with network marketing. Okay. Because it wasn't something that the distributors were doing. I had a phenomenal group of leaders that loved me, trust me, but it was more to do with how the company was running stuff. Okay. And something just kept drawing me back. I could have just quit. I've made millions of dollars in direct sales, and I was very smart, just like we were talking about the other night, not going out there and blowing money on stuff and diversifying the income. But I remember 20 years ago, whenever I didn't have money to eat. Okay. And that person that joined my business and trusted me, I'm getting emotional. I don't know why, but I just couldn't give up on them. Okay. So it drew me back to network marketing. I started praying for something else, and something else fell in my lap about 6-7 months ago. I'm super excited about. I feel full alignment. The field does too. And I'm just here to make an impact like you, Rob. The money's great. It allows us to be more of who we are and give more to people. And at the end of the day, like I tell anyone, we're all going in the same hole, okay, whenever we pass away. And honestly, I don't want to be known as the best network marketer. I want to be known as someone that touched someone's life and changed their life and made an impact in their lives with the group of people that I'm surrounded with.
I love it. It keeps coming back to, without saying it, like you have a deeper purpose, you have a deeper meaning, you have a deeper vision. I always say we don't lack motivation. Motivation's important, but motivation comes from vision. So if you lack motivation, what you're really lacking is actually vision. And for you, that's what kept you going, is a deeper meaning, deeper purpose, deeper vision as far as other people. And it's called the Bridge of Tears. And I just want everyone to understand this, that if you haven't been through it, you'll go through it. Unless you get lucky. And true wealth is ability. It's not what you have in the bank. We don't want to bank on luck. We want to talk about really building it. And it's called the Bridge of Tears. Everybody goes through it. Everybody that's ever had that success has gone through those moments where they really weren't sure. They weren't sure if they were going to stick around. They weren't sure, if they were going to quit or do something else. That's normal. You're normal. But your response to it, in large part, is going to determine the success that you have or lack thereof. And so that's why these podcasts are so important, because you're continually hearing from different leaders. You're hearing different perspectives, different stories, backgrounds, different communication styles and wording, different personalities, right? All walks of life, because it empowers you and gives you belief. And there's little nuggets, bingo moments that you can extract, not just apply to yourself, but you can become a better communicator to share that with your team. And so for you, it's fun to see that level of consistency that you have maintained. My last question is whenever you've had success, whether it's a new company at the very beginning, have you, and maybe you've been, even if you've been around for a while, I personally found that most people go on these all out sprints or blitzes, hyper focused times. All leaders do at some point, and maybe they do it once a year, once a quarter. Maybe it's a 90-day run. Maybe it's a 5-day run, right? Maybe it's to, clear everything for the last 3 days every month. I've seen people do variations of their own variation of power hour. Maybe it's twice a week, right? Talk to me about, and I haven't asked this question to Ricky, so I always love hearing the answer after. Have you done any of those sprints or blitzes? And if you have, what would you recommend to someone that, wants to get unstuck on ideas that you've seen for them to hyper focus and go on a little blitz or sprint to crush it?
So basically, we do that, Rob. What I teach is, okay, say you come into my business, you're a leader. I'll sprint with you for 30 days. I'm doing it with you. I'm doing it for you. I'm watching, and then I step away. Okay, because I don't want to be the person. You're the leader of that team. Okay, so I have them create different coffee chats. They get together, they build a community, they get together once a week, they get the up and coming rising stars, the people that just started their business, because that's the most important people in your business, guys. It's not the veteran that's been there, that's made all this money. It's the new people, new blood. New blood is the lifeblood of your business. So pouring into them, creating that community, family environment, and then doing power hours, like you said. We do power hours weekly, okay, and highlight different leaders step up. That way, as these new people are coming into the business, they're not looking at Ricky, okay? They're looking at Rob Sperry. He's the leader of that team, right? And breathe and believe into Rob Sperry. He just came into the business. I help you. I give you a map on what we're going to do to achieve what you're trying to accomplish. How do I do that? I bring Rob on, then I do a welcome call with Rob. And I start asking questions. Rob, why are you doing this? What attracted you to our company? What do you want to see in 30 days? What do you want to see in 90 days? What do you want to do in a year? And I paint the vision for them. I ask the questions, they tell me, and then we go to work.
Isn't it ironic? Like, we didn't have this conversation. I had no idea, but at the same time I did, because I work with so many top leaders, and there's certain commonalities and principles that they all follow. And as Jim Rohn said, success leaves clues. And so the principle is an all-out blitz. The technique could be power hour. It could be, a longer run. It could be, twice a week. It could be, once a quarter. That's the technique. And you got to figure that out. And it's a variation of those as well. But the principles are timeless. And it's just so fun to see, the commonalities of leaders. And that's your goal, is always to extract the principle, the commonality, and then apply it right to yourself and then with your teams. Ricky, where's the best place for people to find you on social media?
Well, I do mostly Facebook. I don't do a lot of Instagram and stuff. Ricky Lee Durant, Ricky Lee Durant on my Facebook page. And I want to go back to that dream that you were talking about in the vision, because I do teach this. And this is what I do teach. Rob, you just came into my business, okay? We all had dreams, okay? At one time, whenever we were kids, we all had dreams. And then life happens, okay? But here's what happens. The dream never goes away from the kid, okay? It's still right here, but then life happened. So I teach people, look, have a dream, get crystal clear in your vision that you were talking about, okay? Take massive action today. Don't worry about yesterday. Don't worry about tomorrow. You can only control what's happening in your life and your business today. And over a period of time with consistency, it becomes your reality. And that's what happened to me.
So powerful. Apply these principles into your daily lives, not just your business, and you'll see an overlap of commonalities and things that will help you to affect other things. Everything affects everything, right? To have more success. Go give Ricky a follow on social media. Incredible leader, incredible human being. Love your heart. Love, how you put God first and everything. So key and so important. And it's been really fun to get to know you, my man, not just virtually and commenting and voice messaging, but actually having conversations, which is so incredible about this industry. So thank you so much, Ricky, for being on. We all appreciate it.
Thank you so much, Rob.